we left the office about 4:20, or I think about that sort of time after our briefing. And the briefing was, there is a fire at Wallen. We're not sending you up there. We're just keeping you down here in case something happens here. So we came out, and 5 minutes after that briefing, the Hurstbridge unit drove into flames. So it wasn't, it's a long way away at Wallen now. It had jumped and come all the way over here, and they'd driven up a road into flames. So that's how close it was and how fast it happened. Racing up to Panton Hill, lights and sirens, and past St Andrews. So that would have been the clue to all the locals, and they would have already known by then anyway, because the CFA, everybody's a part of the CFA up there.
Yeah. Standing
on the Heidelberg-Kinglake Road and watching people come, they wanted to go up the mountain to get to their homes. So we had to block a corner off, and it was very, the radio was busy. You couldn't get on the air. You actually had to make decisions for yourself. And one woman came in with her horse float, and she wanted to get to her horses.
Yep.
I don't know what she said to me, and I just burst into tears. I thought, that's the last thing you want, to see the policeman standing there crying. So pull yourself together, get it right. And then after everybody wanted to get in to collect their animals and whatever they had to do at home, then people started coming down the mountain, and that was even worse because they were coming out of the fire. So that was worse. Dealing with that emotion was horrendous. And one woman said to me, can you talk to my son? He's locked himself in the bathroom and the house is on fire. And I said to her, no, because I don't want to be the last person that your son talks to.
Yeah.
But I did find out later on that he had survived. So I was happy about that.
Injured?
No.
Just lucky?
There came a point then where we decided that the point that we were at was untenable. Untenable. So we left, and the next day when I went up there, that is where the fire actually stopped. The burning stopped at that point.
The point you were on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say that Black Saturday fires is one of the biggest things you faced?
Yes.
As a cop?
Yeah. Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
You mentioned before about breathalyzer course and drink drivers. And I worked with you for about 10 years.
Yes.
You certainly had a interest in drink drivers.
Yes. Yes, I did. I don't have any tolerance for drink driving. Don't have tolerance for it. So I used to look for it. And even if that meant waiting around the corner of a hotel in a marked police car or unmarked. And I was always annoyed with, say it was a tradie and you'd stop them and the PBT was positive. Now you're requiring them to come for a breath test. And they would say, well, what about my ute with all the tools in? Well, it didn't bother you when you're at the hotel drinking that the tools are in the car park. Didn't bother you then. So, and you know, that feeling that you had when I just pulled you over just now, your little heart is palpitating. You should have had that feeling before you got into your car and drove.
Do you ever go to a fatal with grog involved?
Yes. I've just come back off maternity leave and it was a baby involved. So I was dealing with the offender who had been drinking. Yeah. And I was very particular, knowing that the MCIU were going to attend, I was very particular to have no conversation with him, just my observations about.
So was it the baby that passed away?
Yes, yeah, and he was the father.
So the baby was in his car?
Yes. Yes. So... and
sorry, you just come back from maternity?
Yeah.
Was it a bit close to the bone?
Yes. So maybe that's why I didn't want to speak to him either, because I thought to remain impartial here. But so my observations are observations of him, and how when I left him in the interview room with somebody else and came back with the old attendance register,
Yep.
that, how much the room smelled of intoxicating liquor. But I didn't want to jeopardise any interview that would be taking place with the MCIU afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think he claimed that the child had died before the collision and that he was driving to the hospital with the child for treatment, which is what the whole crux of a fatality is, the death of someone as a result of a collision. So he was claiming that the child didn't die as a result of the collision. The child was already dead. And I thought, what father, what person can do that to negate himself from his blameworthiness?
How did it make you feel?
I was again impartial at the time, but
Yep. Not
yeah,
not your front.
really cross afterwards. I thought, how could you do that?
Angry?
Yep.
When did you get out of the job?
2 years ago. So September 21.
How much of the job stayed with you, do you think,
Since I've left,
and been part of your life?
oh, I still catch myself getting out of my private car at Woolworths and reaching for my portable radio to turn that on. Yeah. I step to the side when I'm at the front door, somebody's house.
See your motorbike go that way, still look in the mirror?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Head turns when you hear
Yes.
car revving?
Yes. Look for registration numbers.
Yep. You're not alone.
No. Still say the phonetic alphabet when I'm spelling.
No. So do I. I think we all do.
Yeah.
How's the job changed you, do you think?
Oh, it's really hard to take people on their genuineness, if that's a word. The highway, with the amount of people that lie, I found it hard to believe the truth in people sometimes.
Trust?
Yeah. Cynical. Don't believe what they're saying. You're lying. Sneaky. I don't like those attributes in a person, for starters.
Do you think you're jaded?
Yeah. Yes. People in normal jobs don't see the worst in people like we do. It's hard for them to think that there are people like that in this world. Even simple things like if you're doing a PBT station in the daytime, people would say to you, surely you don't get drink drivers at 10 in the morning. So, yes, not everyone is like you and me. There are people that do drink at this time of day, or they're coming home from last night still. And they go, really? It's like that never would have occurred to them that that's what other people do.
Yeah.
So you do see the worst in people.
Are you suspicious of some people?
Very, yes. And I wish that I wasn't. Can I just go back to being normal and not seeing that in people? That would be nice. To be naive of things. Like I say, it's not that I'm paranoid about things. I'm just aware of what happens.
Do you think you became overprotective of your loved ones?
Yes. And I find
children?
Yes, my son says to me the other day, he always says to me, no matter what we've talked about, non-work related things, whatever, and even if we've had a disagreement of some sort, the last thing he always says to me is, I love you.
Because of
because he said when he was living at home, he would say that on my way out to work because he didn't know if that was the last thing he'd ever say to me. Or if I would not come home one day. So I think we disregard or we diminish what the effect of this job is to our family.
Do you think you're hypervigilant?
Yeah. Wish I wasn't. And it does take a long time to unwind that out of the job after you've retired. It's like that, how do they describe it? The scale of the level of things, the more hyper you are on the curve of it, it takes the same amount of time on the other side of it to unwind and come out of that stuff. So having been in the job 38 years, you do not switch off from it the day after you retire and it's all just gone. It took probably 12 months to unwind just from that part of it, and now 2 years on, enjoying the retirement.
Final question. And I think I already know the answer.
Uh-oh, I better say the right one then.
Did you like your job or did you love it?
Oh, I loved it.
You proud to be a cop?
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
And now if I hear a siren or the helicopter flies overhead, I go, I wish I was there. What are they doing? I need to know. I want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still, and I said this on my retirement day, that I will forever, if I see a highway car pulled over on the side of the road, I will look and see if they're okay as I drive past. Because if they're not, they better know me because I'm stopping. They better know me because I'm grabbing their gear and I'm helping them. I wouldn't be able to, I'm sure, but I look to make sure that they're okay as I drive past, and then I keep driving if they are. Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Am I broken or am I just sick? Have you spoken to anyone about it? Lonely from the fighting. Are you broken?